works, the Cargills, the Tysons, Monsanto, ADM, Grocery Manufacturers of America, all of the big groceries in the country have had a major hand in this bill. This is backwards. If you want good quality food in this country, we need to get away from the big agribusiness. We need to renew our small farms, have local foods, people being able to buy from people they trust, and focus on decentralized local food systems. And that is not in, FDA's agenda.
But the good news is, but you're on the front line, so correct me if I'm wrong, there is a renaissance of food co-ops, of farmers markets, of even lawyers and doctors and well-to-do, educated people fleeing to the country, becoming truly sustainable, not the UN eugenics counterfeit of that. And people have been voting with their pocketbook. 10 years ago, you couldn't find organic food on store shelves. Now it's everywhere. You couldn't find non-GMO hormone milk. Now you can't find the milk with the hormones. Of course, they still sell that it's added to the other products and cheese and things. And from my research, a lot of this attempt to really take over or accelerate the takeover of family farms and ranches is in response to the movement they're seeing by people to basically come out of Babylon.
I think that's a very good assessment of the situation. It's wonderful to watch the local foods movement grow. And it's not just the farmers. It's the farmers and the consumers working together. And that's, it's critical, and we are natural partners. The farmers are producing good food for the consumers, and the consumers are providing a fair living wage for farmers. And it's fantastic.
And if this continues, the children get to drive out once a week to the farms they like. They get to see the cows, the goats, the chickens. Then they get the idea to move to the country, put in a few plum trees, start making their own jam. We start becoming humans again who are meant to be out in the sunshine and the dirt. And we go from being 90% urban to maybe 20, 30% rural. That panics the social engineers.
And it goes counter to what they've been saying for decades, which is the stated goal has been to have fewer and fewer farmers. I mean, it's not a secret. They think that farming is, a low-value profession. We want as few people in it as possible, get people off the land.
They bring in the illegals with big agribusiness to undercut the real farms.
Exactly. There's the big meat packers.
No, it's a mechanized war. It's a mechanized, stated UN plan. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, not at all. But the thing is, what we're describing, this wonderful renaissance, as you were saying, 10 years ago, it was very hard to get local foods or organic foods in many places. And 10 years ago, big agribusiness didn't worry about us. We were too small to worry about. It wasn't a big deal. Now, the local foods movement is growing by so many leaps and bounds, and there's so much energy behind it and so much publicity. Books like Omnivore's Dilemma and movies like Food Inc.
And I'm going to say this right now and then have you continue. If you want to defeat the New World Order, folks, start a garden. It is the act of becoming a human again. It is the act of the agrarian culture that will bring us back to humanity. It's one of the single things we can do to cut off their power and their control. And so this is the revolution. Sorry, go ahead.
So I think that's a wonderful statement. Reconnecting with our food, growing your own garden, getting to know the people who produce your food, going out to the farms, reconnecting with the food is central. And what we have to do is we have to protect this, because what's happening is there's a huge amount of momentum behind this movement. And if it's allowed to continue, it will continue to grow by leaps and bounds and become the dominant movement. Unfortunately, if things like Senate Bill 510, the current food safety bill, pass, then it's likely to really cripple the movement.
And you notice they've already built up these paramilitary armies of Enviro, police, and others. Every day I hear about them going after small farms, small gardens, Amish, SWAT teams, undercover. At the farmers markets here in Austin, there's undercover cops everywhere. They're coming.
And that relates one of the core problems we're facing right now. Specifically, they've got Senate Bill 510 in the Senate. It's been stalled there for months. But now there's all this momentum to pass it because of the egg recall. 500 million eggs recalled. FDA needs more power.
And that was a mega producer that did that again, but exactly. It won't be pointed at them though.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I mean, what should be coming out from this egg scare, what people should realize, is that FDA isn't using the power it has now to regulate the big agribusiness. They don't go after the mega factory farms. They go after small co-ops and local producers and raw milk and all of these things FDA doesn't like. And simply giving the same agency more power is not going to improve the food supply.
When it's a revolving door with big agribusiness that states it wants to shut you down, stay there. Folks, you want to be part of the revolution for free humanity. This is one of the central areas, as important as the Second Amendment and free speech. We'll be right back.
By the case or by the pallet, Sapaco's Sure Pack MREs are the most well-balanced, great-tasting meals ready to eat available at MyersCustomSupply.com. Sapaco's Sure Pack MREs are great for any situation. Come with or without flameless ration heaters, are easy to transport, and easy to store with a 3 to 5 year shelf life. And you can buy just a case or an entire pallet. Either way, Sapaco's Sure Pack MREs are ready to eat hot or cold. Experience superior customer service from the #1 Sapaco supplier that's been in business since 1997. When you order your Sapaco Sure Pack MREs from MyersCustomSupply.com, get fast free shipping and 5% off your total order by using promo code GCN5 at checkout. Call 1-800-451-6105 or visit MyersCustomSupply.com. That's MEYERS CustomSupply.com or call 800-451-6105. For the lowest prices on the internet, visit MyersCustomSupply.com.
You may be arrested and or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Gold. If you listen to the radio, watch TV, or surf the net, you're hearing about gold. Eventually you will ask yourself, is gold right for me? The answer might surprise you. We protect ourselves and our families from many things. Do you have medical insurance? Is your home insured? Do you carry life insurance? How about financial insurance? If you own gold, then the answer is yes. If you don't own gold, the question is, why don't you have financial insurance? We put our faith in things we trust. Do you trust the dollar? Do you trust the economy? Do you trust the government? Gold has always been something you can trust. For thousands of years, people have put their faith in gold. Where will you put your faith? Now is the time to protect yourself and your family. Call Midas Resources today at 1-800-686-2237, extension 242. 1-800-686-2237, extension 242, and ask for Jim Parker. Let me help you get started today. 1-800-686-2237, extension 242.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill, and I had high blood pressure, high blood sugar, poor vision, and I really wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess, pretty much.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract, and from within a few days, I started sleeping a lot better. My blood pressure normalized, my blood sugar normalized, and my sleep really did improve.
Experience these benefits and more when your body gets what it needs with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Why do the mega banks, the robber barons for the last 100 years fund communism, socialism, collectivism under many different names? because they run the show. And it doesn't matter what government agency is out there, they're getting bigger and they're treating you like trash. Now, Judith, looking at these House and Senate bills, let's go over what's in them. I mean, because it really does say you can't can strawberries and sell them without government, fees and regulations and inspectors who just can't wait to get in your house. And they're trying to shut down the farmers markets, as you said. They are going after garage sales. I mean, they don't want us doing anything that didn't run through a scanner, so they know exactly what you're buying, what you're doing. Let's go over this and how we defeat this legislation. But then there's the second part of the story. They're already implementing all this before they even have the law in place. Go ahead.
So what I'd like to focus on is Senate Bill 510, because that's the bill that's active right now, and we just got word that there's a good chance that it'll be voted on next week. So, that is where the action's happening right now. And there's a lot in this bill. It's 225 pages long. So I'm going to focus on just a few core provisions out of it. There's one section that's what they call produce safety standards. And this applies to anyone who is growing, fruits and vegetables for sale. Include, local CSAs, people selling to farmers markets, farm-to-school programs.
Yeah, you're not going to sell peaches on the side of the road. They're going to SWAT team you. And, I mean, they do. They have an undercover cop come up, buy a peach, and then they get to arrest you.
So the first stage, before you get to the enforcement stage, though, the first stage is they're going to be telling you, they're going to be adopting regulations on how to grow and harvest these crops. So FDA is going to be empowered to say, here's what kind of water you can use, what standards you need to meet for your compost, when you could use animal manure, when you can't use animal manure, whether you need toilets in an area, what your workers need to wear, what you need to wear, what you need to wash in, really long, extensive regulations. And, this is something, by the way, FDA is already working on. As you said, even without this bill, FDA is looking at trying to adopt these kinds of regulations. And you would have to, right now, there are no exemptions. Right now, the way the bill is written, if you grow a large backyard garden and you take your excess produce to the local farmer's market, because what else are you going to do with all of that squash? You'd have to comply with federal regulation on how you grew that squash.
So it's a federal takeover of just everything.
It's incredibly extensive, and we've never seen anything like it. I mean, this is very different even from the power that they already have.
Well, our health care is government run now. I mean, this is the new America.
So that's one big section. The next section that what I try to focus on is what you're talking about in terms of jam making. It applies to anyone who does any kind of food processing, and that means jam making, cheese making, bread making. Someone who makes pies, someone who makes sun-dried tomatoes. Pretty much if you take raw ingredients and you change them in any form or fashion.
And they're already using local zoning under Agenda 21 written by the UN to arrest people for uncut grass, for gardens. I mean, it's already happening.
And what happens now, or what would happen if Senate Bill 510 passes, is that, all these folks who are doing small-scale, food production would again come under federal regulation. And for food processing, it's something called a HACCP, a Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point Plan, or they also have another phrase, HARPC. They boil down to the same thing.
And then basically food wardens, like game wardens, the kid that was a control freak in school, now he's got a gun on his side, and he's coming.
Well, and you have to come, so federal agent will come, and you'll have to create this very large, convoluted paperwork plan that tells, exactly where there could be a problem, what you're going to do about it, how you're going to monitor it, how you're going to test it, what corrective action you're going to take. Just really detailed, and it's up to their approval. So if they don't like what you've written, they can say, go back and do it again.
Hey, but that's like Mao's Great Leap Forward. I mean, the government's going to help us.
There are a lot of problems at the big agribusiness, big food level, but we're not seeing problems. Local jam makers.
Yeah, and folks are finding out the local markets are better, and that's not going to be allowed. So here come the police.
It's going to be, it's one of those things that it's going to, I'm not sure I'd say won't be allowed, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. It's going to be one of those things that we're going to go from this thriving, vibrant, growing movement to, a few people trying to hold on.
Yeah, no, they're going to nickel and dime you. Listen, they already have undercover police at the Austin markets. I mean, they're already out there. They're not arresting the illegal aliens, kidnapping people. They're there harassing old women selling strawberries.
And, the bigger it gets, the harder.